Xbox is like, trust us guys, we can still totally make great games. The cast of the Minecraft movie gets better and better, and Runescape players once again remind us why Bleach has locked screw tops. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. January's Xbox Direct took place last night, and we got some glimpses of some of the best games that Microsoft and Bethesda will have on offer over the coming year. But the biggest title was no doubt Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is no wonder because it's developed by Machine Games. High pedigree indeed. It turns out that it's a first-person game, which I'm not gonna lie, took me by surprise. After all, he's such an iconic character that I just assumed they'd want us to see him more. But it does look like it will switch to third person during traversal, and of course, during the cutscenes. I mean, it would be rude not to, right? Harrison Ford was, well, will always be one handsome man. Unfortunately though, while we'll be getting to see some Ford, we won't be hearing him, as Indy now sounds like this.
Do you have any idea how old that was?
Which, to be fair, isn't a bad impression, but we all know what it really sounds like, so it may take a while to get used to this version. We saw plenty of gameplay in the trailer with some good old-fashioned puzzle-solving, gun battles, and death-defying stunts, which I know sounds very Tomb Raider sprinkled in with some Uncharted, but there's one big difference. This big old f***ing whip. And as we all know, Indiana Jones is nothing without his big old f***ing whip. But the whip ain't the only thing Indy will have to help him against those dastardly Nazis. He'll be joined by investigative reporter Gina Lombardi, and the two of them will be going up against a guy with a very headbuttable face. His name's Emmerich Voss, which just screams big bad villain if you ask me. The GINX office has been pretty divided on this one. I'm a bit indifferent when it comes to old Indy, though I can't lie, when I hear that theme tune, man, it's hard not to get hyped. Whew, that slaps. Matt thinks it will be a 7 out of 10, Luca thinks it might surprise, and Dai isn't a fan.
It's gonna be
Oh, and Hanif's got COVID, so who cares what he thinks? But I do care what you think. So will Indiana Jones and the Great Circle be any good? Let us know in the comments. I've also got to talk about Avowed from Obsidian, as I love me some fantasy RPGs. And despite very much having my fill last year through Baldur's Gate 3, you can bet by autumn this year, I'll be ready for a whole lot more. And first of all, the game's cover art is just genuinely beautiful, kind of gives Annihilation vibes, which is no bad thing. When it comes to these games, I'm all about world building and immersion, and it looks like that may be one of the strong points for Avowed. It really looks like they've tried to branch out and experiment to keep the world of Eora fresh and avoid those fantasy cliches. Fans of the Pillars of Eternity games will know the setting already, and it's always helpful when there's a healthy dose of established lore. Combat definitely has a few more question marks over it though. There's clearly some cool ideas in there, from the spell-slinging wands to the flintlock style pistols, and encouraging different combinations and being able to switch out loadouts on the fly is always going to be fun. But it's the melee weapons and the enemy AI that I'm worried about. It all just feels a bit slow and clunky right now, and those enemies just feel a tad awkward as they cycle through their different animations. Ultimately though, this game will live and die by its RPG elements, and if it can deliver on an engaging story and meaningful, impactful choices, well, it might just be great. It's worth touching on some of those other games too. It was revealed that Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is arriving on the 21st of May. It's going to be a digital-only release and at the lower price of $50. Now, that is because it's looking to be a shorter game. I'm predicting maybe 6 to 8 hours long, but let's be honest, it's gonna be a wild ride. The first game's portrayal of Psychosis was something of a marvel, and the sequel looks even better. There was also Ara, History Untold, the RTS from Oxide Games. They're a studio founded by people who made the Civ titles, and I won't lie, RTS games overwhelm me. They make me feel very scared. But from what I can see from those with the brain capacity to actually enjoy them, there's some cautious optimism here. Square Enix also made a surprise appearance showing off their first game on Xbox, Visions of Mana. It's a series that's huge in Japan, but never quite got the foothold here in the West. But I tell you what, I'm vibing with it. The art style looks great, the combat looks dynamic, and you know, when your main rideable companion is a cute Yorkshire Terrier, armadillo-like pangolin Anubis thing, well, let's just say I'm on board. And I'm curious what you think. Which of these games are you most looking forward to? Could 2024 be the year of Xbox? Let us know in the comments. And as there was so much Xbox news to talk about, how about a quickfire round to help us close out the week? First up, the Minecraft movie has some new cast members in the form of Kate McKinnon and Jermaine Clement. They'll be joining Jack Black and Jason Momoa to round off a rather stellar looking cast. Kate McKinnon most recently smashed it as Weird Barbie in, well, Barbie. Meanwhile, Jermaine Clement is a personal hero of mine. I love me some Flight of the Conchords, he makes for a fantastic vampire, and God, is that voice silky smooth. I think all of this is a pretty big indicator for the tone of the movie. It's clearly going to do well either way due to its IP, and boy, do the kiddos love Minecraft, but here's hoping it's actually good too. Moving on. Old school Runescape players are continuing to be completely unhinged. This time it's Reddit user Eat My Yamuka taking center stage, and if that username didn't already explain enough, just wait until you see their Reddit flair. And in RuneScape, there's this organization known as Humans Against Monsters, or HAM. They kind of have this fascist human supremacist thing going on, and well, Eat My Yamuka didn't really vibe with that, and decided to pickpocket their members. Repeatedly, 500,000 times. Why would they do this? Was it for the 10,000 shrimp they looted? Or maybe they just love magenta? Well no, it's because they're very much content spending hundreds of hours pickpocketing for the random drops of treasure trails. Is this the only way to get them? Definitely not, but they've imposed a load of self-restrictions because why not? And if you're sitting there thinking, 500,000, that's rookie numbers, don't worry, they've set their sights on 1 million. And as the show, I'm off to play some Powwow to amass an army of AK-wielding furry friends. Catch up on yesterday's video somewhere around here. Maybe it's this side, I always get it wrong. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on Monday.